Hi Crazy Crafters, we're the crazy ladies at Krazy Kreations, and we're so excited to be here for our very first Spotlight Workshop with the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo.
Yes, indeed. We have a beautiful project just ready for all of you, and I can hardly wait to get started. But before we do, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Kara.
And my name is Jackie.
And we are a mother-daughter team here at Krazy Kreations, and we are located in 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬𝐿𝐻, California, which is at the very top of California, a hop, skip, jump into Oregon.
Now today we're making some spring bling cards. And they're beautiful floral happy cards featuring our handmade glitter paper and outline stickers.
Yes, and we'll be using alcohol ink markers to add beautiful color on our glitter paper. I could hardly wait for you to experience how wonderful and fun and easy these projects really are.
Exactly. Now there were 3 versions of the kit available on the website. There was a basic kit, a deluxe kit, and an ultimate kit, and we'll be walking through all of those together today.
Absolutely. So before we get started, you're going to want to grab a basic toolkit, which is
tweezers, adhesive, a paper trimmer, and foam dots.
That's right, and that adhesive could be anything that you like to use to go with your paper. So whether it's a glue stick, a tape roller, whatever that is. So not picky, but those foam dots are important because it will give you dimension to your flowers.
And I think I forgot to mention scissors.
Yes, scissors, very important tool to have in crafting.
So in addition to those supplies, you'll want some alcohol-based markers. At Krazy Kreations, we like to use Right Art branded markers, but you can be using any brand of your choice.
Yeah, so an alcohol ink marker is very similar to a permanent marker like a Sharpie, and other brands that you may be familiar with are Copic, Spectrum Noir, or even a Stampin' Up! Blendability. But it's very important that we use an alcohol ink marker to color on our glitter paper because we need that permanent ink so it won't fade into the glitter later on.
All right, well, I'm really excited to make these bright, cheerful floral cards. So let's get started and take a look at what these cards look like. All right, so you can see we have 3 different versions of some 3D flowers on these gorgeous spring cards.
Yes, and I love the paper. It's just so fun and exciting and bright, and they go perfect with our flowers. Now, these florals are actually 3 different Krazy Kreations stickers.
Yes, so we have a pointed petal, a rounded petal, and then a heart-shaped petal.
I know, and we're going to be doing all of them, and I can hardly wait. So in your kit, starting with the basic, because that's kind of the guts of the whole project, right?
Right.
You got your beautiful instructions. So if at any time you need to leave, no problem. You can replay this video at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo Facebook or YouTube channels, or you can follow our written instructions with a beautiful photograph.
Exactly, and we also have this photo for you to follow. All the dimensions and cuts are also on the sheet, so it's a really great resource for you.
Yes. Okay, so along with the instructions, you received a kit full of products. Look at all these products.
Wow, look at all those papers and stickers. Should we go through them real quick?
I think we should. All right, so the beginning is you are going to have your paper, so we're going to want to keep that handy because we're going to start by doing our cards. So you have these beautiful double-sided patterned papers. Now these are from Simply Story. Aren't they pretty?
Yes, I love that Simple Stories paper.
Okay, also before I get to the glitter paper, you're going to have some solid paper, which are these brown bag, 3 pieces of that brown bag beautiful paper, okay? Now, what is this, Jackie?
All right, so this is the famous Krazy Kreations glitter paper. It's handmade by the Krazy crew, and it's velvety smooth, so smooth that you can actually color on it with alcohol markers.
Yes, now you will notice that one side has the glitter, the other side is a white cardstock. So when we go to use this, you will need to put adhesive on the back to secure your images. All right, so you have 2 of these, not 1, but 2. How lucky are you guys? All right, also to make our cards, we've included 3 cards, which are pre-scored here, along with 3 envelopes. So you have those to finish out and make our cards. And look at all this.
All right, so these 2 stickers right here are gold and they're holographic. One is little dots. We'll use that as our bling and embellishments. And the other is a border strip.
Yes, and this is going to add that extra something something to your cards to make them look beautiful. But what I love about them is they're flat, so you don't have to worry about any bulkiness, right?
Right, and I love that holographic sparkle that shines through.
Okay, we also have a wonderful sentiment sticker in here with all different types of ways to say thank you. Isn't that nice?
That's wonderful. You get a lot of sentiments on that one sheet.
You really do. And then, of course, we have our leaves that this is a full sticker sheet full of leaves that are going to go with our wonderful layered flower stickers. Look at that.
Wow, so you're getting lots and lots of flowers on each of these 8" by 9" sheets.
Yes, so there are at least 3 layered sets on each one of these. Isn't that great?
Plus accessories.
Yes, so to start out, we're going to go ahead and take all our stickers and our glitter paper, and we're going to put that aside because we're going to make the guts of the card first, and then we'll get into the beautiful decorating.
Okay, and Kara likes to call the background of the card the guts, so that's all the paper piecing.
Yes, so these 3 pieces of brown bag here have already been cut to size for us, and I just want to point out when I mean to size is if you take a pre-scored card here and you fold it just like this on the crease, and then you put one of these on top, it's going to fit exactly. So I like to make my card on this first, and then my last step is to adhere this to the pre-scored card, because that way I don't have the bulk of the card. So
right.
We're not going to deal with this right now. We'll do that very last thing. So we're not going to need our pre-scored cards or our envelopes right now.
Right, those will be at the very end.
Okay, so we're going to be making 3 cards, and all 3 of these cards pretty much have the same type of layout, just different papers.
Or composition.
Yes, composition is another word, and we're going to be using these papers right here. So get your paper trimmer ready and let's get started. All right, so if at any time you're not clear about the cutting width and height, it is located right here in making the card, and it will walk you through all of those cuts, okay?
Okay, so it looks like our first step was to trim the brown bag paper, but you said those are to size.
Yes.
So we don't need to cut those.
No, let's just double check it. So I'm today using this Fisker paper trimmer, and it's supposed to be
5.5 by 4 1/4.
So 5.5 wide, that is correct, and 4 1/4, that is correct. So guess what? We don't have to cut the brown bag paper. Yippee-yay! Are you excited?
Very excited.
Okay.
Okay, so the next ones are the pattern papers. So it's saying that this will apply to the flowers, the yellow gingham, the green gingham, and that's it.
Okay, but where's the yellow gingham? Okay, everybody, it's on the back of the flower, okay? So in our kit, we are going to have one 4x6 piece and another 1 inch by 6. So this will give us enough to make those cards, alrighty? Let's start with the green.
Okay, so the dimensions on the instructions say 5 1/4 width.
So this is currently at 6 inches, so we're going to want to have a width right here of 5 1/4, correct?
Correct.
Alrighty.
And then for the height, it is saying 1.5 inches.
Alright, so we're going to go over here and we're going to cut 1.5. Now really this piece here, just so that we can see what it's going to be, it's for the bottom here of the card. Do you see that?
I do.
So that is how you know where it's going to go. That's exactly right. So we have that piece, and this piece here, do we need this anymore? I think not. So we will put that aside.
Okay, so we need to do that to the flower paper. So the same dimensions, 5 1/4.
5 1/4 wide.
By 1 1/2.
All right, 1 1/2. I love this paper. I just love the colors. All right, so here is this strip of the flower, and I believe we need that with the yellow. So we already have our 5 1/4. Turn it to 1 1/2, correct?
Correct.
All right. And there we go. We have that, and this looks like it's extra.
All right, I'm all for extra papers. So now we're going to trim the corresponding dot paper. So there's 3 colors, and they're beautiful.
Yes.
Starting with robin's egg, we're going to make it 5 1/4 inches wide.
5 1/4. I think we'll be doing a lot of that 5 1/4.
The nice thing about doing this first is after we cut all the pieces, we can put that paper trimmer to the side.
Yes, I like that part.
So it was 5 1/4 by 2 1/2.
All right, so we're going to 2 1/2. And this will be extra. All right, got it.
All right, so now we need to do that to the coral.
So we're going to repeat 5 1/4. I love this paper. I just think it's so pretty. I like how it coordinates too. And I believe you said 2 1/2.
2 1/2.
So 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. Got it. And we have to do that one more time?
Yes, to the pink. So we had robin's egg, coral, and pink dots.
Perfect. So 5 1/4 and
2 1/2.
2 1/2. Now I think we only have to cut one more thing, right?
Yes, so while you're catching up, we'll review which pieces we've already cut.
All right, so we have our brown bag paper, and that was at 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and the best part of that was it was already cut for us, right?
Right.
And then we had our 3 pattern papers here, and these were cut at 5 1/4 wide by 1 1/2 inch high. And just so you know, the flower has the yellow gingham on it as well, right?
So these pieces will actually be these ones on the bottom. So those are the ones we've cut.
Right. And then we went ahead and we cut the corresponding dots. And again, these were 5 1/4 by 2 1/2.
Yes, and those will eventually go at the tops of our cards.
Perfect. So we have all of that, but I see we're missing this little strip here.
Yes, so we have to cut those. So those are the last ones that we have to cut.
And we should have 2 pieces here. We should have a flower that came in our kit that we haven't touched, and then we should have this yellow gingham.
So those dimensions are 5 1/4 by 1/2 inch.
Okay, so there's that 5 1/4 again. And I believe we're going to use 2 flowers, right?
Right, we have one here and we have one here.
So we need this to be a 1/2 inch. So if I look at the one that came in, it's 1 inch. So I basically am cutting it in half, right?
Right. Who knew that math would come in so handy as a crafter?
Absolutely. Okay, so here are my strips. Don't worry if they're not exactly, the same, because it doesn't matter. Trust me, as somebody who designed and made these cards, okay? We want you to have fun.
Yeah, no stress.
No stress. Okay, so I'm going to have an extra little piece here that I don't need. Whoops. Try to get those out of the way. All right, I think that's everything for our paper trimmer.
Yeah, so we can put that paper trimmer away. We don't need it anymore. We've cut all of our papers.
All right, perfect. So we're going to put one of these together now. And which one should we choose? Should we start with this one right here?
Okay.
All right, so we can zoom in a little bit.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Is that straight?
Straight enough.
Straight enough? I think not. Okay, so in order to do that, it looks like we need the robin's egg paper, and we're going to need the yellow little strip, and then we're going to need the flower, right?
Right. Now, just as a side note, if you don't want to copy these examples exactly and you want to mix and match your papers, we are completely fine with that. These are your cards, your works of art.
That's right. Okay, so now we are ready to adhere them onto the brown bag paper. Now, you and I like to use this as our adhesive, right?
Yes, so this is called the Tombow Mono Dot Adhesive.
Yes, so anything that you want to use is fine. I just happen to really like this because if I don't put it down straight, it's pretty friendly to allow me to pick it up and put it the right way. But anything you want to use is super duper fine. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this paper and we're going to put it on the bottom. Now you can kind of see how you might want it. I like having this little red on the bottom, I think. So I'm going to go like that. So I'm going to turn it over and adhere.
And adhere is just a fancy way for glue.
Yep, stick it on down. Now I believe the instructions say leave matting. That means about, what, 1/8 of an inch or so?
Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch. You just want a little bit of that brown bag paper showing, kind of creating a frame.
So I have just a tad here of the brown bag, okay? Now, what's the next step? Put this part on top?
Yes, the dot paper.
Okay. Now, you could either use the dot or the solid. I really like the dot. What about you?
I do. I like the dot because I like that pattern. I like mixing and matching my patterns.
Yeah. All right, so if I put it right here at the seam, I should be pretty close to having it matted. Yep, look at that.
Okay, so now we're going to adhere that little strip, kind of like a little belly band, right in the seam of those two papers.
And it looks like it's going to go right above that seam of this pattern paper and across, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, if somebody out there isn't a really good cutter, that could be like me, don't worry if your pieces are off a little bit because we will be adding some stickers, right?
Yeah, so if you look at our sample on the left here, you'll notice that we're using border stickers to embellish that strip in the middle, and that's your opportunity to hide any lines that aren't straight.
Or if you didn't put this on straight, or whatever you need to do, right?
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to repeat, correct?
Yeah, so we're going to do this for the next card.
Okay, and which one is that going to be?
So let's do this one with this nice, is this pink or coral?
This one is pink.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to want to grab our green gingham, our pink dot, and one of our floral strips, correct?
Yes.
All right, so we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn the green gingham over, and here we go. Going to get that in. This is the hardest part, is just me making sure I like how I put it down. All right. And then we're going to go to the pink, and I'm going to turn that over because I want the dots. So far, so good, right?
Right. Now, did you mention why you like that Tombow Mono adhesive?
I did, so I could pick up.
Yes, so she can reposition her paper. If she puts it down the first time and it goes a little wonky, she can pick it up and reposition it.
Yep, I really need all the help I could get. All right, there we go. And then we're going to go ahead and put this strip right there. Now, I just think this is so beautiful. I can't get over how much I like this paper. I'm going to keep saying that until everyone's tired of it.
Well, or you could just let us know if you like it as much as Kara does.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have to tell you, no, we don't sell the paper, so don't ask us. Okay. Now it looks like when I cut this, it's a little bit too long. Should we trim that? Maybe, huh? Do you like to do that at home?
I do that, but I end up doing it too short half the time.
Oh, really? Watch, that'll happen to me. I just want to do that a little because it has to be perfect. There, doesn't that look better?
All right, that's looking good. So we have one more card to do with the leftover pieces. So let's swap out that sample. So now we're on to this one here.
Okay, so we have our yellow gingham, our coral dots, and our beautiful flower strip. Okay, so we're going to just repeat one more time.
Now, these are perhaps some of the easiest cards so far to make. Yep. Nothing complicated. Here at Krazy Kreations, we like to keep things simple, but you'll see that at the very end, your card is stunning.
It is absolutely elegant and just so worthy of giving as a beautiful something special to somebody.
Or maybe you want to keep it and frame it.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
So we do offer card kits online, and they make 3 cards of the same design. So what I like to say is keep one of those for yourself, and then you can give the other 2 away to somebody.
Oh, that's a great idea. You do say that. I will agree that you say that. Okay, I'm putting down my last floral strip. Here we go. And that one looks great. Look at that.
All right, that looks great.
I love it. Okay, so now we should have all 3 of these card bases kind of made, ready to go.
Yes, so the next step is we're going to add those beautiful holographic border stickers right on the seam of that middle paper.
Okay, so let's, which one are we starting back with?
Let's go to this one.
Okay. Now, you want to go ahead and get our border sticker?
Okay. So one thing to note about our outline stickers is they usually come in a plastic baggie.
Yes, and just so you know, you do need to remove them from the packaging because you cannot use them through the plastic.
So if yours is in packaging, you'll want to remove it from the plastic baggie, and then it will look something like this.
Yes, so when we look at our border sticker, just to kind of tell you, these are stickers, and there are lines on here, and there are different border styles. So this particular one has different options for us. We have a lot of scallop lines, we have straight lines, and then I believe there are some diamonds in here as well. So every single thing on this sheet is usable as a sticker.
Exactly, that's just wonderful.
Yes, and now, do you want to explain about the holographic, what that means?
So holographic means that in the light, you can see a shifting rainbow. So if you look closely to your sticker sheet, you're going to see that rainbow with the reds, greens, blues, purples, and that just is beautiful and it adds sparkle.
It does, and yet they lay flat. That's what I just love about these. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and it looks like we wanted to use the scallop in our sample, so I'm going to use our wonderful tweezers that we sell here at Krazy Kreations. These are just great because they have such a pointed edge, or you could also use your fingers, right?
Yes.
So what you're going to want to do is just go in and start peeling one up. I think I have 2. No, maybe I have 1.
So we're peeling one of the scallops.
All right, so here I have a wonderful scallop.
Let's just adjust these a little bit so we can see them. Perfect.
Okay, and this is a sticker. So how easy it is to use is, whoops, I just did that, sorry about that, is you're just literally going to go on here and right at that seam, when you're happy. I'm a little far away, so I'm just trying to see what I'm doing. And you're just going to stick it on down.
Now, our stickers are very durable, so don't be afraid to position them in the way you need. They will not tear or anything like that.
And if you need to, they're usually will allow you to pull it back up, reposition, and then once it's down, it will become a permanent thing.
Yes, so once you have it in the perfect spot on your card, go ahead and take your scissors and trim off the little tail that's on one side. Now, what are we going to do with that little tail?
Okay, so what I like to do is I like to save these because you can loop them together or whatever you want, but I'm kind of putting mine right here back onto that little area that I peeled it off.
So we placed it back on the sticker sheet because you can use it for another project, and you can actually link pieces together and you won't really see a seam.
Yes, I love that. Now right next door is this diamond, and it looks like we used a diamond there. So shall we go with the same theme here?
Okay, so we're peeling the diamond pattern. And I like how these are long strands.
Yep. And look how it just finished the seams. What do you think?
I know, you would never know that you need something like that, and then once you add it, it's just a wow factor.
It is a wow factor, yes. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And then again, you're gonna come in, adjust if you have to, and trim, right?
Exactly.
So we're gonna go ahead and do the next two cards the same way.
Okay, then we're gonna save our little strip. Okay. So now I'm going to swap out the sample, and we are going to do this one now. So the pink dots.
All right.
Okay, so if we look at these ones, again, we have a scallop and a diamond. So we're going to repeat what we just did.
Okay, so here after I pulled the diamond, I'm back to a scallop. So I'm just going to go in and grab that. I think I need to have it closer to me. All right, and it's so much easier when it's closer to me. And I'm going to do the same thing, the scallop on the bottom. Now, if you want to mix it up, you can. Right, Jackie?
Yes, because don't forget, you have a scallop option, a diamond option, and then the straight line.
And these are your cards, so any way you want to make it is great. You do whatever you like. Okay, what one are we going to use next?
Okay, so we are going to do the diamond for the top. We're following our example.
Yes, I have found if we don't follow our example, some people get very upset with us. Should I show how you can link two together?
Okay, so this is a really fun technique if you only have some short strands available or you just want to use up all your scraps.
So you're going to start with one end or the other, and I'll just start right here. And then wherever it ends, it ends. And then you're going to pull another one just like it. So do you see another diamond?
Yep, you'll have to go over a couple rows.
Right here. Again, I should get just with my fingernail maybe, huh? All right. And then all you're going to do is take the end where you started. I'm going to turn this around, and you can either overlap or just put it on the end, right?
Yes, so you can overlap like one of the diamonds, or you can just go straight to the very end of the sticker.
And you don't even know that you did that. Isn't that cool?
You can hardly tell. So this way, you're going to use every single piece of that border sheet. And as crafters, we like to save all of our spare pieces. I'm going to move this up again a little bit. All right, so we've done two. And so now we have one more to go. So we are going to do this one now.
All right, it looks like we have a scallop on the bottom.
Scallop on the bottom and a straight line on top.
Okay. Here's our scallop.
And by the way, if you love these holographic border stickers, on our website we have several different designs. So they range from like a strand of pearls, which is tiny little dots all stuck together in a line, or we have some wave borders, or even straight line borders, and we have 8 different colors available, and they're all holographic.
Yes, I just absolutely love the holographic.
So just to let you know, we have silver, gold, red, pink, green, dark blue, light blue, and purple.
Yay, very good, Jackie. Now, I see I have the straight line here, so let's use that for the top. We haven't done the straight line, right?
Not yet. This is the only card that uses the straight line.
In our sample.
Yeah, in our sample.
Okay. How easy was that? And it really made these cards pop. And I really suggest that you go ahead and get some of these borderline stickers because they are great. Okay, so now look how many we have still left to go.
Quite a bit.
All right, what's next?
So we're going to put those off to the side. And now we're going to look at our sentiments. So we are using black thank you stickers. So we'll want to pull out the sentiment sticker sheet from our kit.
Yes, and I'm going to let you do that part.
What part?
The sentiment onto the card.
Oh, okay. All right, so each card has a different version of the thank you. Now it's up to you which one you'd like to pick, so you don't have to follow our example, but I'm going to try to hunt down this one. Maybe you can help me find it.
Looks like right here.
That says thank you very much. Oh, it's right down here. It's at the bottom. We want thank you so much.
Now, would you like to show how we weed?
Okay, we can do that. So if you have a sticker and you're having trouble seeing the designs on the sticker sheet, we recommend that you weed the background of your sticker. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a corner of the sticker, bend it down, and we're trying to separate this background from that paper on the back. There we go. Now you'll want to be doing this very slowly because there's some intricate stickers on the sheet. But you can see that once we peel this, we're going to have a much easier time peeling all of those words off of the sheet.
Yep, that looks great. Now what do you do with the part that you just peeled off?
So for this part, I'm going to use this as garbage. Or garbage.
I would agree, garbage. Okay.
Okay, so back to our sentiment, which is at the bottom right. I'm going to start with peeling the bottom part. Now it looks like this is all one piece.
That's kind of nice sometimes, isn't it? Because it's all lined up then, right?
It is. So here's what it looks like. And when I'm placing my sentiments, I like to grab them from the middle with my tweezers. Then I can position it on the card. And what's nice is you have these little dots on the paper, so you can use those as kind of a grid line to make sure your sentiment is straight. And there we go. Once you have it in place, rub it down. And I have one more trick for you before we move on to the next card. Sometimes you get little tiny pieces stuck inside of your letters. So you'll notice over here, you can read my A really well. Over here, I have a little piece stuck in the middle of the A. So if that happens to you, lay it down just like I did, then take your tweezers and kind of pick that little piece out of the A. There, now we can read it so much better.
Is there something in the K, or that's supposed to be in there, right?
Yes.
Okay, that looks so nice. How wonderful. Now, we have all kinds of sentiments at Krazy Kreations, and I just think they are easier than stamping, don't you?
I agree, yes.
Okay, so on to the next one.
All right, so here is the next one. We'll line those up here for you. And this time we're looking for the big thank you. So it looks like we have 2 of those on our sheet. One is up here in the top right. Again, this one is one piece.
Now, one thing about the vinyl stickers is they do stretch and then they go back into place, right?
Yeah, so when you peel them, they do stretch a little, and then you kind of let them go to relax. There. Once you're happy, just press it down, and voila. That was so easy.
So easy and so beautiful at the same time.
All right, so let's move on to the next card. This one says, "Thank you very much." Isn't that what Elvis used to say?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm not a very good impersonator, so take it or leave it.
All right, so now we're gonna look for that one, and we have that right at the top here. One here, one here. They made it easy for us on that one. Okay, so notice how I have a little piece stuck in there, but I'm gonna leave it until I stick it down. Actually, I'm gonna grab the whole sentiment by putting my tweezers right there. I like how you can slide it around and it doesn't stick until you wanna commit.
Yeah, these tweezers are really great.
Okay, so I like where that is. I'm gonna rub, and then I'm gonna remove that inside piece. It's kind of like you're playing Operation.
Yes, I remember that game. I was
Okay.
never very good at it.
Me neither. All right, but I'm good at getting the negatives out.
All right, very nice. So now what we've done is we've made the guts for all of these cards, and we're going to do the dots last because we want to kind of sprinkle those around our flowers, right?
Right, so if you look at our finished card, you'll see that we have these little holographic dots sprinkled around. We'll do those last.
Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to the Krazy Kreation glitter paper and the flower outline stickers.
Yes, so we can set all of these card bases to the side.
Yes.
And what we'll want to grab from our kit is our microfine glitter paper, and we're going to prepare that first. All right, so you have 2 pieces of this 6x6 microfine glitter paper, and because it's handmade, the first thing we need to do is burnish or rub it, and that's going to do a few different things.
Yes, so when you rub it, it's going to remove the excess glitter that may be not stuck to the tape, and you don't want that just getting all over. Now, I have to tell you, this glitter paper is super friendly, it's not messy, and yet it gives you all that sparkle. The second thing is the oils in your fingers and the pressure from your fingers are making those crystals pop in the glitter, and it becomes more blingy. So we always want a shiny, blingy piece of glitter paper.
Exactly, and then our fingerprints are also adding DNA to our glitter paper, so it's truly uniquely yours.
That's right, and when you give it to someone else, it's a gift of you to them.
So don't commit any crafting crimes, okay?
Yes, or we'll have to hunt you down by looking at your fingerprints on the glitter paper.
Now when it comes to burnishing, the more you do, the better. You really can't do too much. I went over every single inch of my glitter paper, so now it's ready to go. And you'll notice when you touch it, the glitter does not come off, and it's nice and velvety smooth.
Now, just as a side note, you can run our glitter paper through die cutting machines, whether it's electronic or manual. And obviously we're going to be fussy cutting, so you can cut it with scissors. And I've even heard of people running it through a laser printer and printing on it. Now, you cannot stamp on it because the stamp that is compatible with alcohol inks is water-based, and it will absorb into the glitter paper, and it almost becomes a no-line coloring.
Right. I mean, so you can do it, but it's a totally different look.
Okay, so which one are we going to do first?
Okay, so let's start out with the heart-shaped flower petals. So that is sticker number 3509. Now, if you've never noticed before, we have numbers in the upper hand corner of our stickers.
Yes. Okay, so when you go in here, you're going to notice that there's a very large flower, a medium flower, and a small flower, and then there's a tiny flower. We're not using the tiny flowers today. Maybe you'll want to use them later as a decoration on something else. So we're using the large, medium, small. Okay?
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm going to narrate as you peel the sticker.
Okay.
So Kara is placing her fingernail under the outline of the sticker. Then she's repositioning it on her other hand. And now she's going to kind of sweep it across the glitter paper and let it relax by letting it go. Once you let it relax, we can peel another sticker and do the same thing. Now you'll notice she put her sticker in the upper left corner of the glitter paper, and that is because she's trying to save and make the most of her glitter paper.
Maximize.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the medium.
And now the small. Now do you want to talk about the pieces that are left behind?
Okay, so you'll notice that when you peel a sticker, we peel the outline, but you also have all the inside pieces left over. So those will be these. And you'll notice that you'll know that your sticker outline has been used when you see the white line. Now these negatives can be used, but you'll need a special tool called a transfer sheet. And we do have some tutorials on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Yeah, so those pieces aren't as bad as some of the other negatives, right?
Right.
So I want to go ahead and keep peeling all of our flowers onto the glitter papers.
So the next one we'll do is that pointed flower. That is number 3507.
So again, we have a large, a medium, and a small. So we're going to go ahead and use those. We're not going to be using the tinies, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to go in. Now I noticed that this sticker page is a little larger than normal.
So usually the Krazy Kreations outline stickers come in a size that's 9 inches tall, so that's the same height, but it's only 4 inches wide. So this is kind of like a double sheet that we're using.
Yes. And you know, we just do this for our layered flowers, right?
Great. We don't have many that are this size.
I don't know. Should I go up here?
Yeah, right in there.
Okay. And then we need the tiny, right? I mean the small. Not the tiny. That's right. I said it wrong.
Not the extra small.
I don't think it'll fit there. Maybe it will. Ooh, look at that.
Okay. And now we have one more sticker sheet, the 3508.
Okay, so I think if I were to peel this large one, it may not fit on this paper, so we're going to come over to this paper right here, okay? That's why we gave you two. Wasn't that nice of us?
So generous.
All right. I love this flower. It looks like a big daisy to me.
Yes, I can picture that being like tie-dye or something.
Oh, tie-dye. I didn't think of it that way.
That'll be for another time.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to the medium. Now look what happened. One of the negatives flew off on me. So what can we do about that?
So if one of your negatives peeled off of the sheet, you can just put it right back on the sheet. Very simple.
Yep, that's right. So I'm just going to put it right back on so you can see where it came off. And there it is.
And then so she did the large, medium, and now she's peeling the small.
And do you think it'll fit right there? I think it will, huh? Okay.
All right, and we have one more to do. So we need to peel the leaves now. So this is number 3062.
And we need to do 6 leaves because it's 2 leaves per flower, right?
Correct.
All right, so we're just going to go in here. Now, could you weed this as well?
Yes, you can weed all of our stickers.
Yes, so weeding means removing the excess vinyl or the what we call the garbage,
or
right?
the background.
Yes. All right, there's 1, 2, 3. Look at all this extra glitter paper we're going to have. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. So just a reminder, we're peeling 6 of the leaves.
Yep. And here we go. 1 more. Okay, there we go. We have everything we need now.
Okay, so now that we've positioned our stickers on the glitter paper, we need to burnish those. And how we're going to do that is where you can take your finger and go over the lines. You could do that. But if we want even more pressure, we're actually going to flip these over and rub from the back of the paper.
Look at that, double rubbing.
So you can also use a brayer tool if you want to, but I would do that on the front of the paper.
Yes. A brayer tool is a roller, and it's usually rubber, and it really adds pressure when you go over it, right?
Right. So we want to make sure that every little bit of our stickers is nice and burnished. And the reason why we do this is because we want those stickers to be really sealed to the paper so that when we go to color, we don't have to worry about any bleeding of the alcohol ink.
Now, our stickers will go on any medium. You can use them on pattern paper, cardstock, and color in with them. You can put them on glass or vinyl or acetate or vellum. I mean, so many different things you could do, right?
Yes, and they're even dishwasher safe.
Yes, so you can make a mug, a wine glass, a water bottle as a gift.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we've done this, we're going to grab our markers.
Okay, so our markers are a little bit mixed up. But we recommended that you have the primary set of Right Art markers for this project. So we're going to be using yellows, reds, and greens.
Yes, so let's start with our leaves. That's the easiest way.
Just as a side note, we do primarily use these 24 colors right here. So if you have the primary set that's going to be able to do these flowers today, you have half the set that we use for all of our card kits.
Yes, so there is a primary and a secondary set that makes up the 24. So if you bought the primary, you're going to have the reds, the yellows. You might have a little different green tone, but that's okay. Use the light and dark green in there, and you'll be all set to go.
Right. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the markers when we start coloring.
Okay, so which is right now?
Okay, what colors do we want first?
I think we're going to do the leaves. And the leaves, we're using 2 colors. We're using 𝐲𝐬00 and 𝐲𝐬29. Now, again, if you bought the primary 12 set, you could use 𝐲00 and 𝐲13. It's just a different grade.
Yeah, it's more of a Kelly green, but for today we're actually going to be using more of these olivey greens.
And what I just want to point out that this paper is complementary to both, because this color set goes with the paper as well as the yellow green, which we're using. So both go.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we can see a little bit, so I'm going to push that up right there. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to start coloring. But let's start out by repeating why we're using alcohol markers and not water-based.
Okay, is that for me?
Yes.
All right, so we are using an alcohol ink marker. Again, these are permanent markers. They will remain vibrant and beautiful the whole time. Whereas if you use a water base or a dye ink type marker, it does tend to absorb into the glitter. It could be an hour, a day, or 2 days, and you come back and it's faded. So that's why we like the alcohol ink marker. Now these are Right Art. They're very professional marker, and our marker has 2 different tips. One tip is the fine tip, or what we call bullet tip right there, okay? And then there's the brush tip, which is right here. Now this is what we'll be coloring with. It's like painting on the brush. And by the way, there's no right or wrong way to store these markers. They will not dry out, so you could store them upright on the side. It doesn't matter, they're airtight. They're also refillable, so when you run out of the ink, when this starts turning white as you're trying to color, you can add more color with a refill.
And I also wanted to mention that with alcohol markers, they will dry a lot quicker, and so if you tried a water-based marker, it would take overnight to dry, so you'll definitely know the difference.
Now when we're coloring here at Krazy Kreations, we like a very light color with an extremely dark color, right?
Those are upside down.
Who cares? There we go. I was looking at the color.
We want to be able to read them.
Okay. So why do we do light, dark?
So we want to be able to see some shadows and highlights that's going to add dimension to our images.
Now there are 2 ways to go about this. You can start with your light color, and you can kind of color right on top of the glitter, just like this, and add some color. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to come back, right?
Right.
We're going to now go into our dark color, and this is where we want the shadow. Now you don't want as much dark as you do light, correct?
Yes, because you can always add more dark, but you cannot take away dark. So just keep that in mind when you're coloring.
All right, so now that we have this, we have a really harsh line here. So we're going to want to come back with our light color, go to the edge of this line, and just add a little pressure and bring it up to the light.
Now a few really important tips for blending is only work your pen in one direction. So she's not pushing into the dark, she's pulling away from the dark. And she didn't go all the way back to that middle of the leaf. She started out where that dark color ended.
Now you're also going to want to have a scratch paper, and as you get that dark color on, you're going to want to tap, tap, tap. And because it's an alcohol ink marker, it'll go back to the original color. So the darker color does not stain the lighter tip.
Okay, so now that we know all the guidelines to coloring, let's do a few more.
Okay, so on this one, I'm going to start with the dark color because this is also an option. So I'm going to come in here where I want my shadow with the dark, and you can pick which one you like, right, Jackie?
Yes, so let us know in the comments if you prefer the light to dark method we showed on the last leaf, or the dark to light method that we're showing you now.
We kind of like the dark to light only because we can go a little bit faster, right?
Yes, so you will have to do your coloring a little bit quicker with the dark to light method.
All right, we are going to color all the leaves, but if we go too fast for you, you can always go at your pace and then catch up on your own time. We just want to get through the class, but you can replay us, right? Or you could just do one card at a time. What do you say?
Sounds good. I believe you can also pause the video.
Oh, yeah. All right, so here I am. I'm just coloring. Look how fast our leaves are going. Nice, right?
Would you like me to do the next 3?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to do the dark to light method because that's the one that I prefer. So I'm going to start by doing the dark color in the middle. And I just want to add a few more tips as we're coloring. Try using the side of your brush, okay, because that's going to help you blend a little better. And then I'm going to take my light color and I'm going to go to the edge where the dark ended. And I'm pulling it to the edge of the leaf.
Now, it is important to note that you should only do a little section at a time. So we're only doing one leaf at a time. We're not going through all 6 and adding all the dark and then going back, because you want your color to be wet when you're blending. So it's important to just do a little bit at a time, like how much we're doing on the leaf, right?
Right. You also might want to try adding little feathery strokes so you can get some variation and not have a harsh line where the dark color ends.
Now, if I don't like how I color it, can I go over it again?
Yes, you can.
However, you want to go maybe twice, then let it dry for a minute or 2 before you go back a 3rd or 4th time, because you don't want to wear a hole in the paper. If it's too wet, you might just rub off all the glitter. And this would also happen on a cardstock. If it's too wet and you keep working it, you'll eventually wear a hole in your paper. So you need to let things dry between your layers.
Now, like we said before, this is handmade glitter paper, so it's extremely soft. And it's actually the only glitter paper we recommend trying this technique on. If you look at your marker nib, you'll notice that it is still intact and you don't have any wearing or anything. Your marker tip looks just like new. That's because of the special glitter that we use to make the paper.
So now's a good time to just clean your light marker off with any of the dark. And I think that's all we need for those colors.
All right, absolutely beautiful.
Yes, so then once we've done that, we will go ahead and cut these out, right?
Okay.
And this will allow people to catch up if they're behind. How do you like that?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to actually make these cards, so I'm determined to make them in our allotment. So I am going to be cutting, and I need to make these a little bit smaller. Now, do you want to talk about the scissors that I'm using?
All right, so our favorite scissors to fussy cut are the Tim Holtz. These are actually the 7-inch scissors, but we also really like the 5-inch scissors, and we do carry them on our website.
Yes, they are really, really nice.
They have a serrated blade, they have some really comfortable cushy grips, and I believe they're titanium blades.
Yes, really, really nice. Now, do you want to also point out what exactly I'm doing?
So Kara is following the black line of the sticker, just following it with her scissors as close to the edge as she can possibly get.
Now, one thing about the alcohol ink marker is it is pretty much dry. You may get a little bit on your thumb as you're holding it, but it dries pretty much immediately, right?
Yeah, it only takes a couple minutes to dry. So if you can't see right now, don't worry. We're just cutting out our little leaf stickers here.
Am I off the camera or something?
There, you're better.
Okay. Look at that. Look how fast those 3 went. Now, if you have a Brothers Scan and Cut machine, yes, you can cut our glitter paper. You don't have to do the fussy cutting. And in fact, Krazy Kreations offers
a Scan and Cut virtual boot camp.
Yes, so we tell you all about everything that Scan and Cut machine can do. Plus, we have a Facebook group where we will be offering projects and sharing tips.
So if you have a Scan and Cut and you want to learn more or take your projects to the next level, you are invited to join us.
All right, I'm almost done with this, and then we'll be coloring some flowers, right?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to coloring those beautiful flowers.
Okay. Almost there, Jackie.
This is leaf number 6.
Yes, how is everyone else doing out there? I hope you're doing really well and enjoying. Okay.
And if you are doing well, you can let us know by giving us a thumbs up.
Yes. All right, look at that. We got all that done.
Okay, look at our little pile of leaves. So now let's go to our flowers. So let's start with the daisy, the rounded petals. And I'm just gonna put the sample right up here so we can use it as a reference. So for the largest daisy in the background, it's yellows, right?
Yes, so it's Y10 and actually 00, which is a colorless blender. If you don't have the colorless blender, it is actually kind of an eraser tool, but you can go ahead and use the light yellow, right?
Okay, so if you don't have the 00, you could use the E40, which is a very, very light yellow.
Now, basically for each one of these layers, we just did a little bit different variation. And on this larger one, if you notice, we made the very tips the darkest.
Okay, so we're gonna start by adding the darkest color first. In this case, that is Y10.
Yes, so we're gonna go to our brush tip right here. And we're going to add some color.
Now, this flower is bigger than the leaves we just did, so how many petals should we do at one time? 2 or 3?
Yep, I would. If you're asking me, yes, I already knew that, but if you're asking the class, hopefully that's what they said. Okay, so notice that I'm only going up just a little bit because I want the darkest part to be these tips, right?
Right.
Now I'm going to come into our colorless blender, which is really a marker that has absolutely no color, right? So you can see that the tip looks white, but it's called colorless because it has no color. And all I'm going to do is go to this harsh line, and I want to blend it into the paper. And that's it. How easy is that?
Super easy. Now don't worry too much about blending towards the center of the flower. If you look at our example, you're not really going to be able to see the inside of those petals because of that layered flower look.
Now you may get some yellow on this tip and you want to do that little clean thing, okay?
So you can do wipe it off with the streak, or you can do little dots.
Right. Okay, so shall we do the remaining?
Okay, so we have 4 more petals left. And remember, if you don't have that 00, you could use that E40.
Yes. You want to move those caps just a little bit. They're kind of in my way.
Another tip for you for coloring is if you're not at a good angle, feel free to move or rotate your paper to whatever's comfortable for you.
Yes, it really makes a difference for you to be comfortable and enjoy how you're doing this.
Now we have lots of coloring tips, as you can see. We keep adding little tips here and there. And we also do weekly technique videos. So if you're having a really fun time, you're welcome to tune in at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays on Facebook or YouTube. And we'll show you something new with Krazy Kreations products every single week.
Look how beautiful that is, Jackie.
Beautiful.
And can you all see the shading out there? Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? And how easy. Now you can achieve this on blending cardstock, but it is harder.
Definitely. So now are you going to cut it out?
I'm just going to cut this out really fast because it's right here. And look at all this extra glitter paper. Nice, right?
Yep, so that's going to go in our stash.
Okay, so I'm going to let everybody just kind of catch up. Am I on screen this time?
Kinda, but we know what you're doing.
Looks like I didn't get one piece. I'll fine tune it as you color. How's that?
Sounds good. So just so I can prepare, are we doing the medium or the small daisy next?
Well, I think we should do the medium.
Okay.
So what colors would that be?
Well, my paper disappeared, so I'm going to have to wing it.
Here's your paper.
Thanks. I like my cheat sheet. Okay, so that must be R03 and E40.
Yep. Now it's interesting how you can mix R. What does R stand for, by the way?
R is red.
Yes, so that letter designates kind of the color family. So R is red and E is not yellow. What
E is earth.
Earth.
Which is really brown.
But in this case, it's like a brown yellow.
Right, it's a yellowish brown.
A yellowish brown, all right. Okay, I got it.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
So I'm going to move these caps, and then we only have this piece left, which is kind of nice. So let's find that medium daisy right here, and I'm going to rotate it there. And now we're going to start with the coloring. So if we look at our example, we have like a peach color, that's the R03 on the edge of the petal, and then it will go into that E40 color. So let's start with the R03.
So it's okay to mix different color families?
Yes, of course. That's what makes coloring so fun.
Especially on the glitter paper, right?
Yes, because it's so user-friendly. Even if you've never really colored before and blended, this glitter paper is your friend. All right, so there's the R03. Now we're going to use our E40. And I'm just going to continue that. So now we kind of have a peachy color.
That is so pretty, and it goes so well with that paper. I love it.
Now you don't have to be too exact about going all the way to the middle of the flower. I'm going to keep rotating my paper. So again, I'm starting with the R03. And even though it has an R for red, it's really like a light red.
Yes, it is the lighter red in our little pack, and it almost has a peachiness to it.
Kind of pinky.
But I think it's so pretty.
Again, use the side of your brush. Only work that ink in one direction.
Really nice, and I hear the squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yes, that's a happy sound. So once you've finished doing that, we can move on to the next one.
Okay, so we have one more in this series, and it's the smaller one, correct?
Yes, so what colors are these here?
Well, I believe this is a little bit of the darker red, or it could be the peach again. Let's do the peach.
Okay, so R03.
And then I think it's the dark yellow.
Okay.
You have the cheat sheet.
So I'm just doing the R03 on all of the petals because this is a much smaller flower, okay?
And shall we use the darker yellow this time?
Yes, so that would be Y10.
How does that look? Good?
Looks good. So this is a much darker variation of this one.
It's fun. You could do them all the same, or you can mix them up, right?
Right.
So pretty.
All right, so I'm just going around doing each petal. And look, we've colored one complete flower.
Okay, so I think we should cut these out and put our card together. So I'm going to kind of go around here, and I'm going to get these off of the main paper and cut them out. Now, you either love or you don't love fussy cutting, right?
Right, I'm a don't love.
Really?
But, I mean, it is necessary, so I just get it done.
I don't mind it because I find sometimes it's relaxing.
Let us know if you find it relaxing. We'll just take some polls during the class, during the workshop.
Yeah, let's do that. Another poll is, where's everyone from? I think that would be interesting. Do you want to ask? Give a shout out.
Okay, I think you just did.
I did, but let's make sure that we get some answers.
All right, let us know your city and state where you're crafting right now.
Yeah, and are you crafting alone? Are you social distancing crafting? Or are you just being wild? I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm just going to repeat that we're in 𝐒𝐢𝐭𝐡, California, and oh, here's a challenge for you. Try to spell 𝐒𝐢𝐭𝐡.
Yes, a lot of people think it's really Eureka, but that's a whole different town about 200 miles west. So it's not Eureka, it's 𝐒𝐢𝐭𝐡. And there's actually a little history to that, but I'm not quite sure I get it, so I don't want to say it. Something about a bakery.
Yes.
Do you know the story?
I know the story, but I don't know if I say it exactly right. But I know that if you spell 𝐒𝐢𝐭𝐡 backwards, it's basically bakery minus the B. So there's like a little story about somebody seeing a bakery sign and it being backwards, and the B was missing on the sign. So he thought the town was called 𝐒𝐢𝐭𝐡.
I see. Interesting. I knew it was something like that. But it's a very small town, about what, 7,500 people?
Yep. Very small.
But we have a Walmart and a Rayleigh's, so we could shop. Okay. There, I got them. Now, we have the medium, the large, and the small, right?
Right.
Now, do you want to go ahead and talk about our trick with the white core of the paper?
Okay, so if you have a little bit of white core of the paper showing, and I'll show you what that means. So when you cut out a sticker, you're going to see a little bit of a white line, and hopefully you can see just around the edges. That is inevitable. It's going to happen. So we can actually hide that with a black alcohol marker just by going around the edges. So in this case, we're using number 100, which is black for Write Art. I'm just gonna hold my flower with my tweezers and then go around the edges with black. Okay, so this is gonna hide that white core of the paper, and it's gonna make your cards more professional.
Yes, so you need to have a steady hand, and I like to kind of put my marker behind the flower or whichever way is most comfortable, but you don't want to color on your yellow that you just did, right?
Right, be very careful.
But it really makes a difference.
It does. So then when you hold it up again, you're going to notice that you don't see the white core.
All right, we're going to finish all of these flowers and kind of do a little bit of that.
I think I'm going to have to do this behind the scenes. I'm having a hard time reaching.
Here, I could do that if you'd like.
Do you want to show how to shape the petals first?
Okay, so now that we have our flower, what we can do is we could kind of shape them. But because they're on this glitter paper, you could just give it a little squeeze, or you can use a pencil or your tweezers, whatever it is you want to do. But this kind of gives it a little bit of a 3D look. So when you put it on, it'll be really fun. Okay, so I'm just kind of squeeze and then roll. That's kind of my way. All right, so that kind of gives it a little bit of a shape. I'm going to do the same thing here with this larger one.
Now, do you have to shape your petals?
Nope, you don't, but this does give it a little bit of a fun look, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
All right.
All right, I'm almost done with this one.
Okay, and then we have one more, and then you'll want to do 2 leaves, right?
Yep, so I'm going to go around the edges of the leaves. All right, so we're just going around Did you shape all your flowers?
I did. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and we have our flowers in our sample card. And we're going to do this card right here. All right, so basically what we're going to do now is layer these flowers, right?
Yes, and we're going to do that with a foam dot, and that's going to add dimension between each layer.
So I'm putting a foam dot, which is a kind of what some people might call a pop dot. Is that right?
Right.
And I'm going to put the large one and then the middle one. And you could kind of decide how you want it to be. That look good?
So you want to kind of stagger the petals a little bit.
And then we're going to put another foam dot. And this is just giving it dimension in between each layer. Okay, and then what are we going to do on the top here?
Okay, so we're going to use those bling dots. We'll add that at the end when we do the sprinkle.
Okay, so we're going to put a foam dot now on the back, right?
Right.
I think I'm going to put 2 because it's such a large flower. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. And what do you think? About like that?
That looks great.
Okay, and now we need to add our 2 leaves that we have. Now these are flat, so you could just turn these over here and put your adhesive. And then I'm going to take our tweezers and kind of figure out where I want them.
So here you kind of have them at angles. So one over on the right, one over on the left. Both of them kind of at the bottom of the flower. But look how nice and full that flower looks.
Pretty. Okay, and I'll let you do the little sprinkles.
Okay, so that's when these little bling dots come into play. So we're going to take those out of the packaging.
Okay, and by the way, there's a lot of dots on a page, right?
Right. Now this is one of those times where it's going to come in really handy to weed your background. So we know how to do that, so let's go ahead and do that. And now we can see that's so much better.
And as a crafty person, you could probably think what to do with that piece that you took off.
Right, you can even make it a stencil. Okay, so now we're going to take our tweezers and we're going to sprinkle the dots around the background and put one in the center of the flower. So I'm just going to peel and place. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the background.
Correct.
So you just place and then you kind of press it down.
So these are kind of in place of putting a sequin or a bead, and I love it because they have adhesive, they're flat, and they're sparkly. Do you see the sparkle?
I do, and I think it looks really nice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to put one right up there.
And that card is finished. How nice is that?
It looks great.
Okay, so I think we'll now go back to coloring our flowers.
So how about that? We got one card done.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Okay, so coloring the flowers here, we're going to go ahead and let's do this beautiful one that has the heart flower with the orange and the red. So we're going to do the larger flower first, and we're going to go and find our dark red marker and our light red marker. Okay, so these we need dark red and light red. So the numbers are really R03 and R17. All right, so just like the yellow one, we're going to have that dark red here on the edge. Now remember, we are only going to want to do a few petals at a time. Because, do you all remember why? It's so large. All right, so now in order to blend this very harsh line, we're going to come in with our light red RO3, and I'm just going to pull that line toward the lighter part of the flower. Isn't that cool?
That looks beautiful. I love that dark red. That dark red color. It's so bright and vibrant.
It is really vibrant. Okay. Nice. All right, so we're going to do the remaining 3. I don't know if we could see that other flower, but I'll try. Now when I'm doing this, I'm doing something called a flicking motion. I'm just flicking my wrist, and I'm having these feathers because that really gives it a more interesting look when I go to blend than a harsh line.
So a flick means you're kind of pressing down and then lifting.
Right, it's just a motion with your pen. Also notice that we use the side of our pen, not so much upright, correct?
Right. I do really prefer using the side of the brush. It's going to give you more coverage, it's going to give you a more even blend, and it's going to be easier for you too.
Look how pretty that is. Just gorgeous. I love this glitter paper. It makes everything look so beautiful.
And I love how the sparkle still shines through, so you can make any color glitter paper you want just with the touch of an alcohol marker.
Okay, I think we got that one. Do you want to do the middle one?
Okay.
Or you want me to keep going?
I can do the middle one. So for the medium flower, we are going to need the dark red and the dark yellow. So R17 and Y10. So if we look at the example here, the red is actually on the inside of the petal and the yellow is on the outside. Red is the darkest color, so we're going to start with that. So I'm going to start by doing that flicking. And I'm going to do 3 petals. Okay, so there's our dark color. Then I'm going to blend with that yellow. So Y10. Remember, go to the edge of the red and we're pulling the color to the outside of the petal.
That is beautiful. It looks like a tropical drink.
It's like a sunrise. So one thing that I like to tell everyone is when you're blending, go across and then go to your next area. It's going to give you a more even blend. So I'll show you that again. So when you're blending, go from one side of that red line to the other instead of going straight out. Okay, so we have 2 petals left. We know what to do. Red is first. Okay.
I just love how you can blend 2 different colors.
Have any of you tried blending yellow and red before? I think it's one of my favorite color combinations. Okay.
Now, remember to clean your yellow marker after you're done.
All right, so I'm going to do that on my scratch paper.
All right, so we have this small flower now, and we're going to go ahead and color that one. So we're going to use the dark red and the light red, but this time we're going to have the red be here close to the center. So we're mixing it up. Nice, right?
I think it looks really good.
And then we're going to come in with our light red, which is R03, and just bring that out. How pretty. I think as you get practice, you're going to enjoy this so much because it's very easy coloring.
Very easy, and the more practice you do, the better of a colorist you'll become.
Yeah, so there, we got that flower all done. Shall we go to this flower right here?
Okay, I think this is my favorite flower. I love the peachy colors that were chosen for this one. So what markers do we need for this one? Let's see.
I believe we need E40 and R03.
Okay, maybe we also need a little dark red for that
Yes, these three are right here.
middle. Okay. Go for it.
You want me to do the large one? Okay, so this one here is the R03 and the E40. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in. Now the first thing I want to do is clean this off a little bit. So I need a scratch paper, which Jackie took. And you can't see off screen, but now I just kind of grabbed it. And I want to make sure my tip doesn't have any of that dark red in it. And then I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to put the darker color, just like we've done on all of them, the darker color of the two that we're using, right?
Yes.
So that in this case is R03. Then we're going to come in and we're going to use the E40. And look at that, peach. Isn't that pretty?
It's very pretty. I love this color.
And if you want more, we could put more, so I'll do that in a minute.
More R03?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's show how you could add a layer, right?
Yeah, so like we said before, you can always add color, but you really cannot subtract color.
So I'm going to go back to my darker R03 and just add a little bit more.
Now when you're adding that second layer, light pressure.
And you're going to have to blend, right?
Right.
Okay, so I added a little bit there, and now I'm going to come back with my E40 and blend. Look how pretty. Are you in love?
I love it so much.
Okay. All right, so now we just have to finish. And we're going to go back to that R03. Who would have thought the light color would be the dark color? It's just amazing what you could do with just different colors. And then we'll go with our E40 and just add that in. Okay, what's the middle going to be?
Okay, so the medium flower is going to be the light dark red.
Should I get a little bit of this in? I don't know what I did there, but good thing we won't be seeing that, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so the medium flower, we need the dark red on the inside of the flower and the light red on the outside of the flower petal.
All right, so are you saying this is dark red?
No, I thought the dark was in the middle. Okay, go for it. Any style you want. Kara's gonna do dark on the outside.
I am, because Kara likes to do what she likes to do. What about you guys? I'm going to move that card. It's just kind of in my way.
We'll bring it back here in a few to look at it.
But we're going to use the E, right?
Oh, I thought, okay.
Which one?
I thought we were using R03.
Okay, R03, got it. I'm looking to you for guidance.
But you know what? If you want to use the E40 at home, you are welcome to do so.
I think this is pretty. And then we're going to add that E40 to the top, right?
Right.
I just think the colors go together no matter what you use.
So remember, we're going from dark to light. And if you need to slow down, remember there's replay available.
Yep, I'm just having fun coloring, and to me, you really can't make a mistake because it's really fun. And if you go outside the lines, it doesn't matter because you're cutting them out. And, okay, now what about this other one that we're doing?
Okay, so for the smallest flower, we're basically going to copy the large one. So the R03 on the outside and the E40 on the inside.
Okay.
You need some scratch paper?
I do. I want to clean my marker off. So tap, tap, tap. There we go. Thank you. All right, so this is on the outside?
Yes, just a little bit of peach or R03.
And I think I'm going to do very little because I really want that yellow. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the E40. And there's that yellow. Look how pretty that is.
Very pretty. So I think this one is my favorite, and I'm going to give you a chance to vote here in just a minute. So kind of think about which one was your favorite, but don't tell me yet.
Okay, so now we have all of these colored. The next step is to repeat what we did with our other one, right?
So you're going to cut these out. You're going to go around the edge with a black marker. Use the foam dots, adhere it to your card, and then use those bling, those little mini dots, and add sprinkles and a center to your flower. So let's take a look at all three of these cards again on the screen. And now I'd like to know which one of these cards was your absolute favorite to make with us. I think they're all beautiful, but I've got to say this one was my favorite to color.
Yes, so I love them all, and I have to say I'm partial to yellow, so it'll be interesting to see what everyone else likes.
So we'll look forward to reading your answer in the comments. Now, this completes the basic kit for the Spring Bling workshop. If you purchase the deluxe kit, you have enough supplies to make 3 more of these exact cards.
Yes, so you're going to use the stickers that you already have, but you've been given more paper, more glitter paper, more cards and envelopes. Oh, and we don't want you to forget that you're going to put this then, adhere it onto the pre-scored card to finish it off, but you now have enough to make 6 cards.
Right. Now, if you purchased the Ultimate Kit, we're going to show you how to color those cards on the colored glitter paper, but the assembly of the guts of the cards is going to be the same that we did together for the basic kit.
Yes, so you're going to repeat doing the brown bag cardstock with all these patterned papers and the borders and the dots. You have more than enough stickers, but instead of putting these stickers on the white glitter paper, you have color glitter paper.
And we're going to show you how to do that. Now that we finished these 3 beautiful cards on the white glitter paper, let's see how they compare to the colored glitter paper that came in the Ultimate Kit.
Yes, so I'm going to take these away, and we're going to look at how pretty it can be when you use our color glitter paper. Look at this.
So you can see these are very rich looking. They're a little bit darker, but you can still see that you can color on them with alcohol ink markers.
Yes, I just think they're so pretty. I'm holding each one up side by side just so you could kind of see the difference.
I think they're absolutely beautiful, and you can still see how blingy these are.
Yes, very blingy, and what we've done is so you could see the difference, we put these on the opposite side. So when you make your cards, you're going to go ahead and make them just like in the basic kit, the basic class, but we kind of put the flowers on the opposite side.
Okay, so now let's kind of walk you through how to make these flowers. So let's look at the different colored glitter papers that came in the Ultimate Kit. You'll have 4 colors here, sea green, orange, sand, and light copper. And the first thing we need to do is burnish them, right?
Correct. So I will let you do that part because you're so good at it.
So we're going to give it a quick rub. You can go in circles or you can go side to side.
Now these papers are as velvety smooth as our white glitter paper, right?
Yes, they feel really nice and soft.
But one thing people don't realize a lot of times is you can color on these.
Exactly, especially these light colors. Okay, so those are now nice and burnished and they are ready to use.
So let's go ahead and put our leaves on here.
Okay, so we're going to need to get our leaf sticker.
All right, so here's our sticker. And again, we're going to need about 6 of these, right? But we'll go ahead and just do 2 for a demonstration.
So again, we're just peeling our outline sticker and adhering it to the glitter paper. And don't forget, we need to burnish. So you can flip your paper over. Right now I'm just gonna do the tops. Flip it over. And there we go. So those are nice and burnished. Now they're ready for us to add color.
Yeah, so the recommended color that we used was the 𝐲𝐿29 and 𝐲𝐿0⁰.
Okay, so again, are we gonna do dark to light?
Yes, why not?
Okay, so we're gonna start with that 𝐲𝐿29.
But the one thing we should note when you're coloring on here, you want to leave the color of the glitter paper, so you don't want as much, right?
Right, so we're going to be a little bit more conservative with our color. So I'm just adding a little bit of dark in the
Very
center
little,
here.
right? Very, very little. Ooh, that's pretty.
And then I'm going to do it again.
And then the light one will just kind of blend it into the glitter itself, right?
Yes, I'm going to let you do the light colors. So this is the 𝐲𝐿0⁰, very light green. And she's going to touch the edge of the dark green.
Yes, and note that I'm not going all the way to the end because I want the color of the glitter paper.
So this is going to add a really nice shadow effect to your leaves.
Did you do this one? I'm just making sure.
I did.
Looks pretty. Look at that. Isn't that neat?
I love how this is a completely different look.
Yes, very nice. So then we would cut these out. Remember, you're going to need a total of 6 leaves, but we just showed you those 2. Because you're already well versed how to put the cards together, we're going to concentrate on the coloring.
Right, so we've colored our leaves. Now let's move on to one of the flowers.
Okay, so I believe in the flowers we did the this one first last time, so let's do that one again. What do you say?
Okay, so this is sticker sheet 3508 and it's the daisy. So we need to peel a small, medium, and large. So I'm gonna peel off camera. Got my daisy here. So there's that one. We need a medium. And I'm just trying to conserve my glitter paper. And then I'm gonna use a small daisy right there.
Okay, and now we're going to color. So what colors do we need?
Oh, we need to burnish.
Oh yes, I was doing that as you were speaking. But what colors are we going to use?
I need to see the sample. Okay, so we need the yellows.
I believe we need the red R17, Y10, and E40. Sound good?
Sounds good. So I've got those right here.
Okay. So again, if you remember, we did the outside of the large flower with the darker color, so we'll do the same. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. So again, this glitter paper is called Sand. It's a very light gold, kind of a champagne gold. And we're coloring with a Y10, which is a bright yellow.
And then we're going to just kind of blend it in with our E40. And we want to leave that glitter showing again. That's what I love about the color glitter. What about you?
Yes, I think it's great. I think leaving that little bit of glitter paper showing is a really nice touch. And the nice thing is, you don't have to worry about blending perfectly on the colored glitter paper. It kind of disguises any spots you may miss.
Yep, I actually go a lot faster because I don't want a lot of color on it. I want that glitter paper.
Think of it more as like a highlight you're adding.
Okay, there we are. Pretty, right?
Very pretty. Now for the middle flower, it looks like that R17 and Y10.
Yeah, so we're just going to put a little tiny touch here of the R17. Look how that just changes the color.
Yeah, just a little bit of red completely changes the look. So you'll notice we're using a lot less color with this colored glitter paper.
You can almost use the E40 if you wanted. I'm using Y10. But isn't that pretty? What do you think?
I think it looks good. Now, I'm going to reserve my question for later.
What's that?
Well, I can't tell you.
Oh my goodness, I hate secrets. Okay. And I'm finishing with
Y10, which is the bright yellow.
There we go.
All right, that looks great. Now on the smallest flower, we're going to use the red in the center of the flower. And let's do that E40 on the outside.
I agree. And because it's small, we could just kind of do all the petals, right?
Yes.
And then E40. Look at that. Whole different look, right?
Yeah, so we have 3 different color combinations on this gold or the sand glitter paper and 3 different looks. So there's endless possibilities.
Really nice. Okay.
Okay, so your next step would be to cut these out, go around the edge with that black marker, use the foam dots to create dimension and put it on your card.
I just think those are beautiful, and we still have 2 more flowers.
We do. So the next one, let's do the heart-shaped petals. That is 3509. Okay, so remember, we've already burnished our glitter paper, so we're going to peel the large, medium, and small stickers.
Now I noticed that this glitter paper seems to be a bit darker, so it seems to me you're going to concentrate using like a dark yellow and a dark red.
Yeah, so if you try to use light colors on here, it's not going to show up.
And I think the other thing is you might want the R03 just to kind of blend it in. We'll see how it goes, right?
The R03 probably won't show up very much, but it will help blend. All right, so now we need to burnish or rub. It's a fancy word for rub. You can even flip it over. Just going to do that really quickly here. And we're ready to go.
I believe you have the R03. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. And again, like every flower that we've done, we're going to start with the darkest color. And as you can see, when you put this dark on, you don't really see it a lot, but you do see some shading, right?
Yeah, so it's just kind of a hint. It's just a nice little touch. But again, don't stress out about being perfect on here because a lot of things aren't going to really show. So if you make a mistake, don't worry.
And if you notice, I'm doing all of these because I don't really need to worry about that blending too much. So I'm just going to go in with the R03 and just do it a little bit. But because it's so dark, it just adds that little bit of shadow.
So that R03 is really just erasing the line between that dark red.
It's really pretty though. If you can't see that, when you color, you're going to see how beautiful it adds that little bit of shading.
Okay, now how about that middle flower?
Okay, that's where we're going to use the yellow. And when you put the yellow here, that adds a lighter touch. Do you see that?
So it actually increased like the brightness of the glitter paper by adding a bright yellow.
Yes. And again, you don't want too much. In fact, I'm not even going to blend this one in. So with the colored glitter paper is actually a lot less work. What do you think?
I agree. It's really fun.
Very, very fun. Okay.
On to the small flower. It looks like a dark red in the middle again.
Yep, just right here. And it's really easy. If you think I'm going fast, I'm sorry, but all you have to do is look at the picture and you don't need a lot of color. That's what I love about this technique. And then I'm going to blend that in a little bit with the R03.
So that erases that line, that really distinct line between the dark red and the glitter paper.
So the main thing is don't cover the whole glitter paper. You just want that line, okay?
All right, beautiful. And that was so quick, but you're going to do the same thing. Cut them out, go around the edges with a black marker, use foam dot dimensionals, and adhere it to your card.
Isn't that pretty? I just wanted to show that.
I love
that. Okay. All right, now we have one more, which was your favorite in the last one. It's this one right here, which is a light copper, correct?
Yes, so that sticker number 3507. So we're gonna peel those stickers. And trust me, the more you use our stickers, the faster you can peel. And color. We've been doing this for a while, so we're just super quick at it. We make it look easy, but it really is easy.
I know, that's not an illusion, is it?
Okay, there's number 2 and then number 3. There we go. We're gonna rub, also known as burnishing.
Are you gonna color this one because it's your favorite?
Okay. All right, so now that's good to go, and we're gonna dive into the coloring. So on the largest flower here, we're going to use the dark red, R17, on the very tip of the petal. I'm not gonna add too much, and I'm gonna do all 5. Just like that. And then what's our light color?
The R03.
R03.
And it's funny, it's the same as the orange, but it gives a whole different look, right?
Yes. And by the way, I think I mentioned this color glitter paper is called light copper. We have 2 coppery colors, copper and light copper.
Yes, we do. And this one is really, I think, my more favorite because it's more peachy, I think.
Right. Now, just as a little teaser, if you want to learn how to make your own glitter paper, we do show that on some videos that we do on our Facebook sometime. And
yes.
We have a free recipe guide on our website.
Okay, so this one we're going to do R03.
Okay. On the edge or the inside?
On the edge.
Okay. R03.
And then I think, should we add some E40? That's really pretty. So I'm going to come in with E40 and just add just a little bit to give that peachy color that Jackie loves. What do you think?
So cute. Now it looks like for the smallest flower, we're copying these colors but doing it opposite.
Okay.
So let's do the peach. Oh wait, no, it's the same.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
Do whatever. We could be very, very creative, right?
All right, so.
I just like this glitter paper because it's so fast, the color glitter paper. And there we are. We have that peach tone again.
Very pretty. So one more time, you're going to cut these out, go around the edge with a black marker, use foam dot dimensionals, and adhere it to your card to create this beautiful card right here. Now let's put all 3 on the screen one more time so we can see the final result. So you can see these ones are a lot more sparkly, but they are a little bit darker. And I want to ask, which one of these is your favorite?
I think they're just as stunning. Now, at the end of all this, you're going to have a total of 9 cards. So you will have been making these as well, right?
So just to recap, we did 3 cards in the basic kit. If you had the deluxe kit, we made 3 additional cards.
That gave you 6 cards.
And then if you had the ultimate kit, we did the 3 cards with the colored glitter paper for a total of 9 gorgeous cards. Now,
wow.
If you did the ultimate kit, here is my question for you. Did you love coloring on the white glitter paper more or on the colored glitter paper more? Let us know. Okay, well, we wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today in the Spotlight Workshop with Krazy Kreations at the Scrapbook Expo. We had a blast coloring with you, and I just can't believe how beautiful those turned out.
Yes, so if you want more of us crazy ladies, don't forget that we do have live videos. We do a Technique of the Week every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and a live Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, also 1 p.m. And we have Coffee with Kara and Jackie on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So that's your time to ask us any questions you have about Krazy Kreations products.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, we hope you have fun finishing your kit and enjoying how beautiful and easy putting these gorgeous spring bling cards together.
If you had a lot of fun today, please feel free to give us a thumbs up on the video. My name is Jackie.
And I'm Kara.
And we're from Krazy Kreations. Thanks for crafting with us.